Hello, 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 and welcome to the Empowered Hour with Empowered Living Inc. It's your girl Athena, and
Renata, how are you?
girl, I'm good. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good.
Long time no talk to me here. You know,
I
it
know.
feels forever, forever, ever. But
I know.
we getting
We,
back. We getting back to it. We getting back to it.
we have to. We have to because we keep saying that every time we do record. So we for real got to do.
Girl, we cannot let those who do listen to us down. We got to
I
make sure
know.
we on here. Like this is a highlight of my day, my week, my time because I do actually like doing this show a lot. I feel like I get to express myself with the therapist on the line, but then also get to let some stuff out because I sure be thinking some things, but I need to get them out sometimes. So, but yes, this is why I need to do
Understandable.
this. So, I mean, before I go off on my tangent, I guess, Lady J, please tell us or tell and remind everybody how they can listen in and participate in all things JQLM / Ego Entertainment.
If you'd like to share with your family, friends, and followers on all the different ways that they can tune in to JQLM Radio, this is what you would share. You can tune in live by downloading the JQLM Radio app on your Apple or Android devices. You can also listen live via Alexa, the TuneIn app, the Simple Radio app, and a host of other platforms of which you can find on our website, where you can also listen live at egoentertainmentnet.com/JQLM radio. Or just visit egoentertainmentnet.com and click the button right there on the home page. You can also connect with us via our website or social media at JQLM Radio. That's on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Additionally, you can email us at jqlmradio@gmail.com. Find us under our parent company, Ego Entertainment Network, on social media at EGOENTNET. That's Ego Ent Net. You can also follow us on LinkedIn at Ego Entertainment Network. And last but not least, make sure you like, subscribe, and share our YouTube channel, Ego TV Network.
Ooh, child. I feel like that list gets longer every single time that we listen to it. Yeah. I
That's
don't know.
what happens when you excellent. So you just have a lot of stuff going on. So
That's true.
which I think is a
Um,
great segue for our special guest today.
it is. It is because what better way to kick back off our good run of having shows and live entertainment than to have one of the people where we started with originally. Like
Mhm.
we started this thing off way back when, like with this guest and on her radio platform, and then it has evolved to now we're sister stations and sisters in entertainment. And she gave us our first show. I mean, this is pretty
Yeah.
awesome because she let us have our voice and be heard. Okay, we was guest on her show a few times, then we started having our own show, and then it's just blossomed from there. So I'm like a little giddy schoolgirl right now because we're going back to our roots. We're going back to our roots right now. But I don't know if my introduction is gonna do her justice. So you take over. Take over. Take over.
So today we have on our show the amazing Kimberly Kit. How are you, Kim?
You guys are cracking me up. I had to look and see, who are they talking about? Oh, I'm Kimberly.
This
You
Kim,
didn't know who he's talking about?
The introduction was amazing. I said, who are they? Oh, that's me. Okay.
You a dad.
Hello, ladies.
How
hey
you doing?
Kim.
I am doing amazing. I completely forgot that you guys were on the journey with KMK.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow. So that it's amazing to see what you guys are doing now. Like it's just amazing to see it.
Well, I personally want to thank you for the opportunity because I know people always tell me that I have a decent radio voice, and for years I ran from it. But I think by that kickstart you gave me and that motivation to keep pushing and keep doing it, and then it was just me, you, and Neek at one point doing our own thing because we even had t-shirts.
Yes.
So I definitely appreciate you for that time and speaking life into me and actually taking the time to see something in me that I knew was buried, but and other people told me, but actually, feeding into it. So I appreciate you. If I've never told you that before, I appreciate and love you to pieces. So thank you.
Oh, well, I
Thank
love
you.
you. I love you to pieces. And it is so amazing that, we all have a voice. And it's so important that we know how important our voice is. We don't let people dictate if the message is supposed to be given or the way my voice sounds. God created my voice like he made me very unique. And he has a specific group of people that he wants me to get a message to. So we can't afford not to speak up. We really
Right.
can't. And then in hopes of us speaking up will give other people, look at you ladies, give other people the courage to speak up too. So I'm really, of course, you guys know I love you. You guys already know I love you and just appreciate the invite to come and talk.
Of
Well, I
course.
appreciate you accepting the invitation. So definitely.
So, Kim, you do so much, Kim. And I feel like we were talking about, are we going to read her bio or let her say all the amazing things that she does? Because I feel like we're going to forget something because of all of what you do.
What is on that bio?
Everything.
I mean, you own businesses. You are an amazing gospel artist. Like you just Kim, you just do so much. All this Black excellence in this one body. It's crazy.
Yeah. And she finds time to be somebody's mama. So
Somebody's mama.
A whole bunch of bodies, okay? So I guess I'll do my bio. Let me see. Hopefully I'm sure if I forget something, you guys got it. So I am blessed to be, of course, Indiana. I was born and raised in Indianapolis, Indiana, on the far east side. Warren Central. Grateful that I own a daycare that I've had for, I want to say 10 years. So that's been amazing. I also am a director of operations for a social service agency called Laser Project, where I deal with, people that are involved in the DCS system or probation, trying to reunite families together by education. Of course, sometimes that's not possible, but always trying to let that be the number one goal. And also I have a transition house for women that have been incarcerated or homeless or dealing with addiction. What else? I am a proud member of New Birth Fellowship under Pastor Bishop Rodney Phillips. Let's see. I'm also a proud member of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated. Let's see. What am I missing? You guys. Oh, I have been married to my husband he has put up with me, y'all, for 21 years. Can y'all believe that?
Amen.
That's beautiful.
21 years and 10 children, 7 girls, 3 boys. I have 3 granddaughters and I have 2 grandsons. What else? So I sing, praise and worship. I write, which I absolutely love doing, writing. That was a way that I get my feelings out. And we'll talk more about that here in a second. Is that everything? What am I missing?
I think that's the main stuff. I can't believe I almost forgot talking about your singing. You just had a whole release.
I thought we were going to do it in segments, so I was like, okay, I'll say that. Okay.
We'll circle back to all all of it. We're gonna circle back to all of it.
I was trying not to jump the gun. So I was like, okay, we'll come back to that. Okay. All right. So yes, I just recently released a single. It is called Worship in the Wilderness. And we'll talk a little more about the background to not just that song, but also the song called Grace. Because there's a deep background to both of them that I would like to talk about here later on. But I released a single, Worship in the Wilderness, and the project is called Battle Tested Worship. And that says a lot just right there, Battle Tested Worship. So I'm really grateful right now. I'm currently working on my book. And it's called When You Finally Find Your Voice. When You Finally Find Your Voice. So hopefully going to have that released in March of next year. So yeah, that's me.
I don't even know where to start. Do you?
Me either.
I know, right? So I guess, Kim, would you say that you kind of always knew you were going to have your hands in all these different things?
No. I always wanted to be a mother. So I always wanted a lot of kids. Didn't think I would have 10 though. And no, I did not. Radio world, I did not give birth to 10 children. No. My oldest, my amazing Dominique, is from a previous marriage. And then my current husband, he gave me 3 amazing daughters, Taylor, Sydney, and Noelle. Then we gave birth to twins, Sam and Caitlin. And then we ended up adopting 4 children. So Maya, Anthony, Jordan, and Nyla. So I always knew that I like to help people. So that has always been my wheelhouse, so to speak. But I never thought I would be doing so many different things. I feel like a lot of times I put my hands on a lot of different things, and we'll talk more about it too, instead of dealing with trauma, we just kind of do a lot of things to keep ourselves busy instead of dealing with the root of it. So kind of being an overachiever, that's childhood trauma stuff. So that I went through. But my therapist asked me, she said, Kimberly, because right now I'm working on my master's degree. And she asked me, Kimberly, is there anything that you set out to do that you didn't do? And I said, no, because anything I've put my hands on, I completed. There's nothing that I've set out to do. And that's kind of a good thing. But that's also, I put myself through a lot of things with that mentality, But I believe in helping people. And I believe that some people just may not know. It's not because people just are hard-headed, but sometimes people just may not know the answer and they just need help, a support system. I didn't always have a support system like I have now. I know what it feels like to be alone. And what's crazy is you can have a support system and still feel alone. Wow. You can have all these people. I remember telling someone right after my grandmother died, I feel like that I'm not even loved. And they looked at me, how could you, Kimberly, how could you feel that way? Oh my gosh, how could you possibly feel that way? I did. So then what do? They make you feel kind of bad that you even said it, like you're not grateful. So it's those type of things that just kind of, and that's why the book, Finding Your Voice, is so important. So,
okay. Yeah. So I'm going to ask you a question for you to think about, and then we're going to jump into a quick commercial break. So my question is, now that you have found your voice or are finding your voice, what does your support system and self-care look like? So think about that. We'll take a quick commercial break and we'll be right back.
Okay.
Are you ready for the ultimate radio experience? Tune in to JQLM Radio now. From gospel vibes to Christian rap, hip hop, pop, R&B, and smooth jams, we've got it all covered. Get hooked on real voices, raw entertainment, and super relevant topics that'll keep you glued. Don't bother touching that dial. We've got the perfect soundtrack for every moment. Start your day right and groove into the night with JQLM Radio. Download the JQLM Radio app, listen on Alexa, TuneIn app, Simple Radio app, or visit egoentertainmentnet.com/JQLM-radio. Your irresistible music journey starts here. JQLM Radio. Real, raw, relevant, and dope. Music. Track by Dmitry Kolesnikov on Pixabay.com.
Welcome to the Gallery Event Center. My name is Richard, and we're located on the north side of Indianapolis in the Castleton area. We can be reached at 317-534-6399, or you can visit us at our website at www.thegalleryeventcenter.com. Also on Instagram at the Gallery Event Center. We specialize in birthdays, baby showers, weddings, and even family get-togethers. So come see us and book your event today.
Okay, so we're back.
Hi.
So you've had a little bit of time to think about my question. So just to recap, my question was, now that you've found your voice and still finding your voice, what does support look like now, and what does your self-care look like now?
So let me say that in the past, I would feel bad for focusing on Kimberly. So if anybody asked me to go somewhere, I would go. It didn't matter if I was sick, if I was tired. I noticed that people will continue to put weight on you because they know you won't complain, you'll get it done. Well, I end up in the hospital sick. My family's having to take care of me because I've overextended myself. And I had to be okay with saying no. It's okay. Like, no, it's all right. So now my self-care is, if I want to stay home and just sit in my bed and eat a whole cake, guess what I'm going to do? Unapologetically. If I want, the thing is, my self-care can be whatever Kimberly wants. I don't have to be a mom then. I don't have to be a wife. I don't have to be a praise and worship leader. I don't have to be the artist. I don't have to be the director. I don't have to be a student. I could just be Kimberly Michelle, and that's okay. So whatever Kimberly wants to do at that particular time, it's all right for Kimberly to do. I love to paint. Of course, I can't draw a straight line with a ruler, but I can color. I can color inside them lines, though. Okay. I love to, really just kind of pour into Kimberly's mental. Just trying to make sure at all times I'm emotionally and mentally okay. I've had a lot of life changes happen, and I guess we'll talk about that when we talk a little more about the project. But I had a lot of life changes happen. When I say support system, I thank God that I have a father and mother that are, hats off to Paul and Althea Whitley. My dad is 78. My mother is 73. So I thank God that they are still in my life. I thank God for them. I thank God that I have a brother, Paul. I have two sisters, Brandy and Kelly. I thank God that I have a husband. So I have a wonderful support system. But how many of us know that sometimes even having a strong support system, we still seclude ourselves within ourselves? And, when you try to explain to your support system the things you're going through, you sound crazy. Like, Kim, how can you even feel that way? Or Kim, why would you even think that? So then you do what? You stop talking about it. Mm-hmm. So whereas I have a wonderful support system, and I have more than most, I still have to really, I thank God for a therapist. Yeah, I'm an advocate for therapy because it helps to have that transparent person that isn't so close that I could be completely, this is what's going on, and not feel like I'm letting someone down, or not feel like that I am not trusting God because I have a therapist, or feeling like I'm just, Kim, you're supposed to have it all put together. You're 51. You should have, and that's not the case. So we put these high expectations on ourselves. So I thank God for my support system, but self-care is amazing.
It is.
And no is a complete sentence.
It is. And I don't apologize. I'll sing it. No. In any note you want it in.
I love it. And granted, we're biased about therapists. We are.
A little, just a little.
Tiny bit.
Just a smidge. But I love that you said that you get to have somebody that you could just say whatever and it's okay. And you don't feel like you have to put up a certain front or show up a certain way. You could just be you. Because we need that.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, definitely. And it helps us see things from different perspectives. And then just kind of, you don't have someone make, like a therapist is not making the decision for you.
Nope.
A therapist is not forcing you or bullying you into doing what they say do. They're looking at what you give them and all the avenues, and you choose what's best for you. One of the things that's a misconception that therapists tell you what to do or they tell you which way you should go. No, they just give you tools to be able to maintain and manage what you're going through now. So that's why I appreciate my therapist.
Thank you for saying that, because I get several clients that get upset because I don't tell them what to do. So I appreciate you saying that.
I would take it back and say, did your parents told you what to do? Did you always follow them footsteps? No. So why would your therapist tell you what to do?
And got several whoopings too. Just saying.
Okay. Because we didn't listen to our parents 100%. So what makes you think a therapist's gonna have that much of a say so in your life? Because a therapist can tell you something, and you're gonna be like, oh, okay, well, I'm gonna do what I want to do, and then I'm gonna circle back and say, maybe I should have tried that, but I already done bumped my head twice, so now I'm gonna do something else. But no, I appreciate you saying that though, for real.
Definitely, yes.
Okay. So, Miss Kim, you have this amazing musical project that you brought out, and I got to go to the performance. You did
Thank
so
you
good.
for coming. Thank you.
No problem. It was so good. She had people in there crying, y'all. Like, let me tell you, this woman is very anointed. Try to pull it together because she got you crying and feeling good and getting caught up in the spirit. So what was the inspiration behind your project?
So if I could, let me go a little bit back to Grace, the song Grace. In 2019, my grandmother passed, and I was angry because I wanted to be by her side when she passed. This was during COVID time. And of course, you couldn't go to the hospital. There was only 2 people allowed up there and all this kind of stuff. So I was mad. Lord, why would you, now I don't have any grandma. And it just hit me that I don't have any grandmas anymore. I've been blessed with 2 of the most amazing women that I've had for 40-something years in my life. And now it's like a void. I can't explain. It's like a void. So, okay, Lord, I ain't writing no more. I ain't singing no more. Okay, I'll sing cover songs, but because every song, I started the music journey because my grandmother said she wanted me to do a praise and worship album. That's how I started this journey. And every album release at 90 years old, my grandmother was at. So I ain't singing no more. I ain't writing, I ain't singing, I ain't nothing. How's that? She died in the end of May. And then in November, I found out that my sister right up under me has stage 4 liver and lung cancer. I said, okay, so you took my grandmother. Now you're about to take my sister. Okay. So I was really mad then. But then I was like, Lord, my mother will not be, this is my mother's mother that recently passed. I said, my mother won't be able to stand losing a child. That will devastate our family. Our family doesn't work without my sister Brandy. That will devastate us, right? At that very moment, the Lord put that scripture in my heart that, excuse me, my grace is sufficient, that we could come boldly before the throne of God to obtain mercy and grace. So at that very second, God gave me the lyric, and actually the song for Grace starts off, as I look back and think about, God started using my pen to give me his track record. He has a proven track record with me. Proven track record, right? So the song Grace derived from that from that. And the song even says, anything you need, grace, healing grace, saving grace. He has it. He has it. It's always been enough. So here we are now, battle-tested worship. I went through a stage last year where I wanted to die. I felt like, I don't know where the feelings started, but I know I hadn't felt like that since I was 16. And I was like, why am I even here? I just want to die. It would be okay if I died. And those thoughts were not leaving me. And I kept trying to process those thoughts. But I didn't want to die because my kids would be hurt. There would be several people that love me that would be hurt, but I still couldn't shake the feeling that I'm just ready to go. So my son ended up going to the Navy. So I felt like people were leaving. My son went to the Navy. Then my other son was turning around going to the Navy. So it was like a lot of different situations emotionally was taking a toll on me. And I was like, oh, wow, this is a lot. Then it was people that had hurt me, right? Mm-hmm. So you have all these other emotions going on, all these other feelings going on, and you already feel heavy, but I'm still smiling. I'm still going to work. Hey, I'm even ministering to people. Only to have this feeling in my stomach that I just really, I'm over it. I'm done. How much more can I take? And God is so good, you guys, because, God, he's good all the time, right? Mm-hmm. And he proves how great he is. But sometimes he does things just to show us, I really do love you, Kimberly, and I'm here for you. You're not by yourself. And at that moment, that song, Worship in the Wilderness, derived. And it was, and actually I started with the chorus, I'm never alone. That's what you told me. I'm safe in your will is where I want to be. So I'm going to just stay in the wilderness. Anywhere God is at, I'm safe. If you've ever been a person that has feared for safety, you know what it feels like when you're safe. You're comfortable. Mm-hmm. You can sleep when you're safe. And even though there's still emotional situations going on, I'm going to stay in the wilderness. So many times we want to get out the wilderness. Lord, put me back on the mountaintop. Guess what? The Lord said, Kimberly, if I'm in the wilderness, you want to be where I'm at. And the wilderness is not always pretty. It's dirty. It's filthy. But if God is right there in the wilderness with me, I'm okay. And that's where battle-tested worship came from. That's where worship in the wilderness came from. I thank God because all around me, people were killing themselves. Different people were killing themselves. You see it on Facebook. Mm-hmm. I mean, it was all kind of things going on. So I thank God that even in those moments, that my heart wasn't so closed off till I couldn't hear him speak and receive what he had for me because I couldn't hear anybody at that time. So that's where worship in the wilderness came from.
And that's why people was crying and snotting.
Crying and snotting?
Yes.
Crying.
Yes. But I do want to say thank you for being so vulnerable with that, because you're one of those people that people will look at and be like, not her. She has it together. And so it's good to hear that, one, that you were able to overcome it, and two, that you don't have any problems sharing your testimony. So thank you for that.
Never, because you never know. I want somebody listening to know that no matter what they're going through, God is not like sitting on the sidelines watching you fight. He's right there beside you fighting. Mm-hmm. He's not a God that don't care. He loves us. He's not somebody that's going to see you knocked down and not try to pick you up or break the fall. He's not that kind of God. He's not that kind of God. It may feel like you're alone, but you are never alone. And if we don't trust nothing else, we can trust God's word. And like I said about grace, he has a proven track record. Some people will say, hey, I got receipts. and their receipts be faulty, altered. Listen, Christ's receipts are, listen, proven track record.
Okay. I know we got to take a commercial break, but who wants to take a commercial break? Not us, but please stay tuned so we can continue this conversation. But we'll be right back.
Let me go blow my nose real quick. Let me go blow my nose.
Yes, we can get ourselves together.
Yes.
What if you had the ability to encourage yourself just by putting on a piece of clothing? It's possible when you shop GDFAM. God Didn't Forget About Me apparel. Shop dresses, t-shirts, sets, jumpsuits, sweatsuits, and more for men and women. When you look good, you feel good. And when you can remind yourself that you have not been forgotten, you feel great. Shop GDFAM now at GodDidn'tForgetAboutMe.com. Music. Powerful advertising track by Anton Vlasov on Pixabay.com. Hey there, trendsetters and go-getters. Ever dreamt of gracing the cover of the hottest bi-monthly print and digital interactive magazine? Well, Ego Magazine is your ticket to the spotlight. From beauty and fashion to entertainment, relationships, business, and beyond, Ego covers it all. And guess what? We're looking for the next big stars to feature. Want to shine on the cover, share your celebrity story, or drop some business wisdom? Apply now at egoentertainmentnet.com to be featured. Thousands across the nation could be reading about you. Subscribe for free now at egoentertainmentnet.com. Ego Magazine, where dreams become headlines. We can't wait to put you in the spotlight. Music, Minutes by Jacob Sapp on Pixabay.com.
Okay, so everybody gathered themselves.
Yes, I have wiped my face off on my sleeve. I'm okay.
All right. I will say the thing that made me chuckle is when you said you told God that I'm done. And I think it's funny whenever we're like, look, God, this is what I'm doing. I feel like he really be sitting up there cracking up laughing. Or he does that, that Lawrence Fishburne meme, the Ike Turner meme with Lawrence Fishburne, where he turns around. I feel like he turned around like, you talking to me?
With the hair movement.
Yeah. Okay.
The wig.
But go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, even though we say that and we get upset with God, he's a big enough God that he can handle it.
Yes.
He handle us being upset.
And he's our father.
Yes.
We have to, he is our father. So he knows, she's just being crazy. I'm going to let her have her moment. You got to put your kid in timeout. So I'm going to let her have her moment. And then she going to come back. She just let her have her moment.
Yeah. I mean, because we as parents, we experience this with our children. So I'm sure God has that same, synopsis as well. It's like, okay, yeah, you're going to have your moment. Go ahead and have your temper tantrum real quick, but you're going to get your sugar honey iced tea together here in just a few moments. And then you'll come back when you get yourself together. And then, of course, in the midst of you feeling that way, it's like God starts to dump things on your lap, say, okay, let me give my child something to do to occupy her mind because she's sitting still. And when you sit still, stuff start to creep in. So he's like, here, let me give you something to do. And this is what you focus on. So now you can get back on a good path. So God be, he pulls some punches and some comical things in there too sometimes. Because every time I say I'm done, I'm not doing this stuff no more, he said, "Oh, are you? Okay." Let me show you why you're not.
And let me say this too. I think it was 2000 and I forgot. It's been that long ago that I started the journey with KMK. I'm sure Jacque could tell y'all the exact, I know it was October. I forgot the exact year. But I thank God for the opportunity. I didn't know what I was doing. I knew that I wanted to inform the community of things. And again, to break generational curses that we didn't have the opportunity to have the type of help that's out there, but people just may not know. So I thank God that at the time it was, what was it? JHM Radio. Yes. At the time I was able to be a producer of my own show and actually talk about topics that meant something to me. Because I felt like if they meant something to me, I'm sure there's other people out there that it meant something to. From domestic violence to adoption to church hurt to co-parenting to therapy to entrepreneur. I mean, we talked about so many things. So I thank God because I actually miss doing my show. I really do. But trying to navigate and fit it into everything now. But I really miss doing that.
Mm-hmm. It'll call you back. I think, but your voice is being presented in different ways. So your ministry is definitely going to be your platform where more people will get to hear and see, because sometimes we are the only God that some people see. So by you shining your light and actually, sharing your testimony more, I think that's going to reach more people than probably you've ever reached before. So
Yes.
I can't wait to see how it all goes. I mean, I'm just a little spectator. I need to get your autograph again. so, so I
Lady
can
Day
say I
said
knew.
2016.
Yeah, it was 2016. Yeah.
What did I couldn't hear you. What did you say?
Lady Day said it was 2016.
Oh, yep. 2016. Wow, I'm old. Okay.
No, don't do that, because if you old, that means I'm old too, girl. Don't do that. We're not old.
No.
We're just getting better.
That's it. That's it. That's
Mm-hmm.
it. 2016. Wow, that's a blessing. Thank you for that, Jay. 2016.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's amazing how fast this time is going by.
Yes, yes. And to still, you asked, you said something earlier about sharing your testimony. It's just one of the things where and I don't judge people who wants to share their story or who don't want to share their story. I feel like people have to come to terms and share their story when they're ready to and not feel forced to. My thing is that I don't want people to feel like I felt. Or if they do feel like that, I want them to know that I understand, like, it's okay. It's going to be okay. And this is how. This is it. I was there. I was there. It works. There's nothing spectacular about Kimberly. There's breath in your body. You still have a purpose, and God has you here for a reason. So that's why it's so important to share. The testimony is not so pretty. I use this example. I have a cesarean mark on my stomach where I gave birth to the twins, and that mark is so ugly. It's so ugly. But God showed me, how could you hate the scar that saved the twins' life? That scar. So now when I look at that scar, I'm grateful because now my twins are 17. That scar saved them. So how could I look at it as anything but amazing? Miracles were birthed that way, So our stories may not be pretty, but they're so necessary.
Mm-hmm. Extremely necessary. I think just listening to you, do you find that now that you have shifted things in your life, meaning that things are starting to be on a positive wavelength, that your family has now seen your example and you feel that they've changed some of their views? Because I know you said before, family was always like and always been around and always been a part of your life. But have you noticed that since you've started to go to therapy, that you started to do as God says, that you have a better relationship with family? Or
I'm still all mamas. I'm still all their mamas. My mama's mama, my daddy's mama. I still regulate the whole family.
You said raising the whole family?
I'm just saying. Dominique would say she's raising me, and she probably is sometimes. But I think that, my family looks at me as this strong person, and I am. I think the therapy piece helps me to be transparent, actually tell my family I'm struggling. So in the past, I wouldn't even tell my mom and dad that I'm struggling because I wouldn't want to hurt them. I wouldn't want my parents worried about me. I'm like, why would you worry about me? And my sister still has stage 4 liver and lung cancer. Why? I don't want nobody worried about me. But I've had to actually voice to my parents, I'm struggling today, y'all. And I think that in saying that to them and to my siblings, it's kind of like, okay, we're gonna pray for her, or you know what I mean. So they've adjusted some, but I think I'm still the regular. If anybody know me, they know I'm the regulator. You know, but therapy helps me to be able to juggle and cope and be able to let go of certain things. I've had to let people go. Tough situations, had to let people go, because when you realize that relationships are not what you thought they were, or it's one-sided, you have to let it go. It's draining out of you more than it's putting into you. It's okay, God bless you, but I gotta drop it. And that has been the navigating part now, just understanding that, we're grateful for people. I'm grateful, I love, but it's okay if you're not a constant figure in my life. It has to be okay. It has to be okay, whether you like it or not, because users and takers have no limits. They could care less. And I have to have limits and everything to what I do now, where in the past I didn't. I just helped everybody because I love helping people. Unfortunately, people that I was helping was not, their motives were not always right. So I've had to adjust my expectations as far as other people and reevaluate relationships. And that came to some family members too. And sometimes we got to take inventory. If it's draining your peace and draining your mental, you have to, and that's the hardest thing to do. And honestly, Jacqueline would tell you, I'm still doing it to some people. I'm still doing it. Call my therapist, she gets paid very well. Still doing it, but identifying that. So yeah, I think they are adjusting.
That's good to hear, because I know sometimes, when you're the person who's making changes, or you're kind of the person everybody looks to, and then you start doing things differently, I do find that a lot of times we have that cutoff game. That cutoff game becomes real good. And I've had to do that myself, have that cutoff game and be like, okay, well, you're not serving a good purpose in my life. Let me just let it go. And it is what it is. But it's definitely hard to do. It's necessary, but it's definitely hard to do.
Yes. And everybody's not going to be okay with it. So you have to be okay with your decision to do it. And guess what? I don't owe people an explanation on why.
Well,
I think we get into the habit of feeling like we have to explain ourselves. No, I give you a courtesy if I choose to explain myself, but I don't have to.
shouting time.
Ooh.
Not on there.
Yeah.
Get my footwork together. I'm telling you, because some people want that explanation. It's like, I don't owe you that. You better be happy I gave you a little piece of an explanation. I could just stop talking to you. Snip.
I'm just, because we get caught in that. Oh, I don't want to just do this. I need to tell. No, our only person I'm obligated to is God. That is the only loyalty that is to God, the creator of everything, the giver of everything. That's the only person. I don't know anybody else an explanation on any decision. Like we have to get out of that mindset. I don't want them to be mad at me, so I just want to talk to them. Okay, so talking to them, then you arguing back and forth. What good did that do? Because they're not going to be happy you cutting them off, remember? They benefit. So what's the purpose? It'd be different if they're like, dang, I'm sorry I made you feel like that. No, they still want you to feel like that. So talking to them ain't going to do nothing but make you put your hands on them. So, sorry. Yeah, just saying. I know.
I definitely totally agree with that. I definitely, because I ain't got time. Don't be asking me 1,000,001 questions as to why. Sometimes it just needs to be done. Sometimes things just need to be cut and dry. Just cut and dry. Just cut and dry. I know we are hoping to have a sneak peek and snippet of your song. So hopefully we can get that done. But if let's say it just does not load up correctly, how can people listen to, follow, and or get more information about all the projects that you are working on? How can people connect to you?
So, I think Jacquees should answer that. She know all the stats, but they can. She's good at that. I'm horrible about say the wrong letter or whatever. As far as the music, you can go to any digital outlet, any digital platform. As far as Apple, Google, you could just type in Google search Kimberly M Kent, and all my music and everything will pop up. My website will pop up. I'm also on Facebook, Kimberly M Kent. It makes me feel good that when people hear, recently people have been listening to Worship in the Wilderness and they're in my inbox. Don't come in my inbox for no foolishness, y'all. Don't do that. People are in my inbox saying, this really helped me. That's what we do it. That's what we do. That's what we minister. That's why we do what we do. I know so many talented singers, writers. I know so many. And for the longest, I was like, nobody wants to hear my voice. Or for the longest, I've tried to change the way I even sing and sound. So just now, God has me in a place of, I created the voice that you have. I gave you the pen to write. I want it to be exactly how I give it to you. So I have to be comfortable in my praise and in my worship. So just go on any, Jacque can tell you all I'm horrible about that. But,
It's okay. Let us take our last commercial break real quick, and then we will ask a couple of fun questions before we wrap up the show.
Okay.
Oh no, Lady J said keep going. We got a few more minutes.
Oh, never mind then. I'll take it
We
back.
got a few minutes before. But no, go ahead and ask some fun questions real quick.
Okay. So, Kim, what was the last 3 songs you listened to?
Okay. So I was thinking about my husband right before I came out here. So I listened to the song You by Charlie Wilson.
Okay.
And this morning I have a morning worship playlist. So Pastor Mike, Impossible. Let's see, Corinne Hawthorne. Sitting here counting my blessings. Okay. I also have Devontae, his song Remind Me, that's in my playlist. Lamar Campbell's in my playlist, Closer. I have some, like, those are my morning go-to to get me together, to get me focused and centered. Yeah.
Okay. What is something people will be surprised to know about you?
I'm a crybaby. I am 6'2". I'm very tall. Thank God. I'm very tall. I love my height. I love being tall. But I'm a big teddy bear. My love language is physical touch. So I love hugging people. I've never met a stranger, my mom says. I've always been able to talk to anybody.
Okay.
Okay.
What would be like a special talent or like a fun talent that you have?
Let me see. I can whoop people in Uno.
Oh, you hear the confidence in that.
Now, what version of Uno?
It don't matter. Grandkids, shut up crying. I'm going to whoop you too.
Oh, you said everybody get this smoke. Okay.
I need to know what version of Uno because there's so many different versions of Uno.
I like the plain Uno. We taking it back to the old landmark. The plain Uno. We ain't doing no swapping cards, so that's too confusing. But yes, I love board games though. Monopoly. Sorry, we done turned over tables in my house. Me, Dominic. Yeah, it got real in our house.
Oh goodness!
Not y'all flipping tables.
Oh yeah, grandkids crying. Me telling them shut up. I'm gonna take your house.
That's pretty funny. I can't play with y'all. I'm sorry.
No. That's hilarious. Okay.
Oh, that is funny. That is funny. I don't even know what to say to that because it's like she said there she gonna get ruthless.
Yeah, she did. So what she said is that if we ever play a game with her, we gotta be prepared.
Listen, we gonna talk crazy. Don't come in there and please don't. Ain't no crying at the table. We ain't doing that either. We gonna talk about you real bad. Just
okay.
Oh man, wow. I don't even know what to say.
Very competitive.
I don't get competitive like that, but I usually typically win, but I don't get competitive like that, and I think that makes my family more mad that I'm not mad, and I'm like, I try, I don't know, maybe I need to get more competitive, but I'll be like, I don't care. This is just a game,
Oh, you would have thought we were playing for money. It gets bad in my house. Holiday time, that's our fun part. Yes, holidays.
Oh wow.
I'm gonna say no comment because I've been told we can't play certain games in our family because of how competitive it gets. So.
Yeah. I've been around Renata and her family when they get some members of her family, and they do get a little competitive. Like, I don't care that much.
Are you challenging my family? I mean,
Kim, do you want the smoke?
Let me call Dominique right now.
Oh wow. Well, before we have violence on this show, we're gonna take our last commercial break. Let me put them in their corners. Okay, Tyson and Jake. Okay,
we ain't gonna say which is which either. Okay.
We'll be back. Y'all. Man.
Back to you. Leads me back to you. Just rest assured and know. The Bible says it'll work out for my good. This test is for a moment, just a little while. Don't let your faith slip away. Because your wilderness of worship will turn into a sacrifice of praise. Alone, that's what you told me. Safe in your will is where I wanna be. So I'll offer in my wilderness a sacrifice of praise. Oh, I'm never alone. That's what you told me, God. So I offer in my wilderness a sacrifice of praise. I'm never alone. That's what you told me, God. I wanna be. Let me offer in my wilderness a sacrifice of praise. That's where I wanna be. That's where I gotta be. I need to be. That's where I wanna be. That's where I gotta be. I need to be. That's where I wanna be. That's where I gotta be. I need to be. That's where I wanna be. That's where gotta be. Hope is the way. alone. God told me, safe in his will is where I want to be. So I offer.
Well, thanks, Kim, for having us about to start crying listening to you.
Oh, wow. I listen to that song every day. And it still ministers to me. We have to be able to minister to ourselves. We can't always depend on somebody. Come on, you minister. No, we got to be able to minister to ourselves sometimes too. And that song, it just, no matter what I'm going through, I'm not alone. Yep, I'm not alone.
Such a beautiful message.
Thank you.
I know we're coming up towards the end of our show because it seems like it shouldn't go so fast, but it literally goes fast every time. If there was one thing that you want listeners to know about you, your ministry, well, you don't even have to limit it to one thing, but maybe the top 2 or 3 things that you would like people to take away from just you being here today. What are the important points you want people to know and realize?
That no matter how saved, no matter how gifted, talented, everybody has struggles, and it's okay. It's okay to reach out for help. It's okay not to be okay, number one, but it's okay to reach out for help. And just know that while you're going through your struggle, there's somebody else depending on you to make it through so you can help them. We're never doing things for our own glory. It's always to glorify God in everything that we do. So I mess up. I'm not perfect. I'm not any of those things. I never even pretend to be. But I thank God that I have a perfect praise that doesn't need interpretation from anybody. I have a wonderful relationship with God that doesn't require an explanation. You know, I want people to know that it's okay. Get your relationship with God. Get your relationship with God, and watch how those traumas that you've dealt with, that you haven't been able to get out of, watch how God moves so you can help someone else.
Well, thank you, Kim, for being on our show. And in our last few seconds, can you tell everybody how they can connect with you?
Yes, so look me up, Kimberly M. Kent. Just type in a Google search, everything will pop up. Also, you can go to my Facebook, Kimberly M. Kent, but I'm on all digital platforms, Google, Apple Store, Amazon, Apple, all that.
Awesome. Thank you again for being on our show.
Thank you.
Great as always. And we so appreciate you and all the wonderful things that you do. And you can find Empower Living on all social platforms. I think it's just Empower Living, right? Except for Twitter, right? It's Empower Living.
Yeah, Empower Living Inc. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. All right, we got less than 30 seconds. So you guys have an amazing, blessed rest of the week.
Kim, we'll have you back on. Keep doing what you're doing. Stay encouraged.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate you guys. Keep doing this amazing show.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right.